The question, how did you start writing your book? What finally made you write your ideas on paper? I had come to the end of my rope and I had nowhere else to turn. My professional career was one of increasing disappointment. I worked for a lot of startups in high technology, which translates into high job insecurity. Worse, it seemed every company I worked for considered me so much of an important resource. I was always placed where everyone/anyone could get hold of me for any information they needed. For anyone who is an introvert, you can understand the unmitigated hell that is. The last company I worked for was pretty much the nail in the coffin. They burned through a $300 million investment with nothing to show for it aside from the CEO's increasing collection of luxury SUVs. After months of not being paid, I finally had enough and walked out of the company. My timing couldn't have been worse. That was in 2007 when the economy was collapsing due to conservative stupidity and greed. The industry I had most worked in evaporated, and there were no jobs to be had. Anyone who works in high tech, especially the programming end, knows if you don't continuously train and stay active in the field, your skills rapidly become obsolete. A friend, who like me had decided he was done with the high-tech industry, popped up with a potential business opportunity: start up a t-shirt shop. We did start it off really well. But then the economy had its second and biggest collapse in 2008. Nearly all our clients were civic groups and nonprofits. When the money dried up, so did their funding. And with no money to spend, our business went belly up. So I found myself out of work and absolutely no prospects for future employment. Sending out resumes was useless as my programming skills had greatly eroded. I was pretty much finished. Washed up. All my life, I had dreamed about becoming a writer. But I kept putting it off because the time and focus commitment needed was huge, and I was always trying to put my energy to getting ahead of the curve. Not successfully, as most of the companies I kept getting hired into either failed or were bought out. While most people saved for retirement, I saved for unemployment. Because of this practice, I had actually saved up a pretty huge nest egg in savings, investments, and 401ks. That's it finally struck me. It was time I invested in myself. I calculated I had enough money to last me for a few years without any kind of income coming in. Why not finally try fulfilling my dream of writing a book? So that is what I did. It took me 2 years to write my first book. Due to some unpleasant events, it took me a bit over 4 years to write my second book. The third book will take me slightly more than a year to complete, but it will be released this year.